Hello, amigas, and welcome to Amiga Handle Your Shit podcast. Okay, as you can see, it's going to be different today. This will be our first live of many here with my girlfriend. Yes. So I have my girlfriend here, Marisela Arechiga, who she's been on the podcast before. Obviously talking about her business, but today we decided that we are going to just shoot the shit.
Yeah. We're just going to talk about some stuff.
Yeah. Major stuff.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah. I love this. I love this setup for you, Jackie.
Know.
You are live for the first time. You've been recording this podcast for how many years now?
It's since 2020.
So you're going on 5 years.
Yes.
And so 2020, it's COVID. You're in a pandemic. Right. You're screen to screen. And you've really built the podcast on that platform of Zoom. And I think I want to start off by saying first hello to everyone listening and by giving you some praise because 5 years of doing this, I just have so much respect for the commitment that you have to your community.
Oh, thank you.
It takes a lot of work. Like podcasting is not easy. Yeah. There's outside of a financial investment, there's a time investment, there's a resource investment. And so that you've doubled down on your community and you're committed to giving is so admirable. I have so much respect for it. You know, we both were in a networking group separate called BNI for so many years. And the motto was givers gain.
Right.
And the thing that I love about you, one of the many things I love about you is that you're a giver.
Aw,
thank you. You're giving back to your community, investing in your community. You're not just this wallflower that's sitting on the sideline saying, how can I make things better? Or con la mano allá.
Yeah.
Like, give it to me. No, you're giving us so much resources and ideas and explosions of changing and reframing. Like, I just really appreciate that you continue to double down, even in your exhaustion, even in your, moments of where you're not super clear, and that you're here, you're live today. I think this is going to be an incredible pivot and an incredible reframing for the platform and for the podcast, because there's nothing like being in front of people.
Yes.
We all know what that feels like in COVID.
Yeah.
When you were behind a screen and like there was still something missing. Yeah. My kids were sitting in a classroom with their peers in COVID behind a screen, but they still were missing something.
Right.
And so this energy, I've been on the podcast before, and this already, I feel this electricity that you can't substitute. And I think that's by design. So I'm so excited to be your first guest in person. And
I'm excited, amiga.
I love you.
I love you too. I love you more. Oh my God. I'm just so grateful for this opportunity to be with you and that wonderful conversation. Like, you know what, Jackie? Have you ever considered doing this live? And I said, well, yeah, but it costs a lot of money. Ay, Dios mío. What is it about us, or at least about me, how I always I'm about abundance, but also I'm still living in the 3D reality, which is where we have the bank account.
Yeah,
and then,
absolutely.
And you're like, oh, did I do that? Did I overspend? But, sometimes I feel like it's important to, yes, we acknowledge that there might be a deficit in the bank account, but if you live in the vibration that God will always give you more than you expect, no pasa nada, as my girlfriend says.
Yeah.
No pasa nada.
No pasa nada.
Everything will be fine.
Yeah.
And so every moment that I've been on the podcast, on the screen, has been such a true blessing to have these beautiful, powerful women and men who have been on the podcast. But I felt like, let's go live. If we can, why not?
Yeah. There's also a balance, right? Like certainly in business, and your podcast is a part of your business. It's not your whole business. You're this incredible transformational coach. You help women see better versions of themselves and give them the tools to build. Like, this isn't just your business. This is the butter, as we talked about, to your bread.
Yeah.
There's a way of leveraging your business and balancing it out. Like, when do I make this initial investment? When do I make an additional investment? So I think for 5 years of you being behind a screen and finding a way when we were on a lockdown, when you weren't supposed to connect, is monumental.
Yeah.
And that you're exploring new ways of connecting with women and telling their stories and letting the entire community grow from that is an investment that it would be interesting to see what happens. I think you're certainly onto something, but this chapter, I don't know if it's chapter 2 for you, no sé?
2.0.
2.0 would be, it's necessary.
Yes. Yeah.
There's these voices aren't, even though we're so large in numbers, I'm so exhausted of the phrase "a sleeping giant." I'm so interested to see where this could go, because our voices are necessary. There's so many of us all over the world, all over the United States, all over California, all over Los Angeles, which is where we are, that this platform is necessary. And the energy of us being in the same room, of you being in the same room with other thoughtful women, thoughtful Latinas, I think it has so much potential as it has already demonstrated, of just being more impactful.
Yes, I agree. And so that's why we're here.
That's why we're here. What are we going to talk about today?
You know what? I think, you touched upon Los Angeles, and I think, okay, this is our home. This is our home. So what has happened as of late that is super monumental, catastrophic, horrible? We really wanted to maybe talk about the aftermath of the LA fires.
Yeah.
I do want to say that when this whole thing happened, in my heart, my heart went out to those who lost their homes and businesses and all those things. Obviously, that was the go-to. But then you need to think about, okay, could this have been prevented? And it could have. Obviously, the wind, we can't do much about that. But preparing?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And as a lawyer, I'm going to say, this was, in my opinion, effing gross negligence.
Tell me.
Well, there's a duty, right? The duty of the politicians that we vote into our government.
Yes.
To help and protect us.
Yes.
And what do? They leave.
They go to Africa.
Number one. Number two. Oh, what about funding?
Yeah.
Making appropriations in the areas that are in need of most, which is in LA. There's winds. There's the Santa Ana winds. This always happens.
Yeah. It's not new.
Not new. It's been here forever.
Yeah.
Why wasn't that part of the appropriation bill? Well, why? Oh, wait a minute. They cut it. Hello.
Why?
Mm-hmm. We pay so much taxes.
Where's it go?
Where's it going? My little home, over $1 million. It's only 1,600 square feet. Thank you. What?
Yeah.
What? And I'm in LA City.
Yeah. It's the fires have brought out so much emotion, and by trade I'm a general contractor. I've had my own construction business for going on 15 years now, and so home is my business. I build sanctuary spaces for homeowners. I create new space, and when the fires happened, we have homeowners whose homes we've been in burned to the ground, gone. And so it was very personal for every Angelino, I'm sure. It was intimately personal for me in a different way, because those homes are no longer there. Right. Homes that I had been in before, incredible, beautiful homes. And so as an Angelino, and I'm a transplant. I've lived in Los Angeles for going on 25 years now. Shout out to Lamont, California, my OG, where I'm from, my little ranchito. So I'm a transplant here, but Los Angeles is my home. Yeah. This is where I have put my flag down and made the commitment to live here. And we've taken a beating. We're almost like the laughing stock, and it wasn't that way all the time. Los Angeles was a coveted space. It's where the dreamers came to live out their dreams and to make things happen, make shit happen. And, when I travel now and I'm in different parts of the United States, it's almost like a laughing stock. And I don't understand it. It's such a a glaring mishap
Yeah.
on what's happened politically to our state and to our city. And, you know, I was at a business conference a couple years ago and we were talking about strategies, and I was in a room full of other very successful general contractors, and we were strategizing, telling each other about our business models. And the number one advice that I got across the board, Jackie, was leave Los Angeles.
Yes.
That should be a part of your business plan. You need to leave Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And they weren't speaking from a place of, you know, they weren't trying to be derogatory or demeaning to me, but it was like, all of them, where you're not going to be successful in a place that doesn't set you up for success.
Yes.
And that punched me in the gut because that wasn't Los Angeles. And so when we're talking about the fires and negligence and you know, how everything went down, I think about leadership.
Yeah.
Because Santa Ana winds, there's nothing you can do about them. A fire is going to break out almost every time.
Yes.
This is historic. Yeah. We know this. But as a person that leads my home, for example, I'm going to break it down very simply. If I know that there is danger coming into my home, it is imminent. I'm not going to leave my kids in the house and go see about something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay put, and I'm gonna get my guns out, and I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna get my dog, and we're gonna protect my home.
Yeah.
And what's happened to the leadership of the city is heartbreaking. It's demeaning.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, and it has to change. And I'm not talking about being a Democrat or a Republican. I'm talking about strong leadership. And I think as people, we need to take a deep dive into why we vote, who we vote for. Yeah. Because voting just party lines isn't enough. No. Our state has been a one-party state, and this is what happens when you have a one-party system.
Yeah.
We across the board, like our supervisors, our city elected officials, our mayors, our governors, our senators, like we are a one-party system, and this is what we get.
Yeah.
We're the most taxed city and state in all of the country, and our city burns down for it.
Oh, and the reason is because we have the best weather.
No mames.
Yes, that's fucking stupid.
It's not enough anymore.
It's not enough. We pay a gazillion amount of taxes, so much so that's why there's been an exit strategy to leave California. Yeah. Poor leadership. Yeah. Here we are, like, yes, it's like so free, yoga, yes, love, freedom, love, liberal, whatever. But at some point, you know, we need some serious leadership.
Yeah.
And who are those individuals out there?
Yeah.
Those individuals tend to be entrepreneurs.
They do.
People who know how to run businesses.
Yes.
Successful businesses.
Yes.
Because let's face it, running a government is like running a business.
It is.
And if your leadership sucks, what do? You fire their fucking asses.
Yeah.
That's it. Bottom line. You fire them.
Yes.
Why is she still our mayor?
Yeah.
And I kid you not, I actually was like, wait a minute, who has the ability to fire a mayor? I Googled that. I literally did, because I'm like, okay.
What did Google tell you? Tell me.
Well, I think I chat GPT the damn thing.
She's better.
She's better.
Smarter. She's smarter. She's smarter.
Oh, what I could do is I go to city council. The city council has the power to get her out, to fire her. Mm-hmm. Okay. Do a petition. Mm-hmm. Have the people do a petition and get her out. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, all this work. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, if it were me, and if I fucked up the way she fucked up, I would recuse the embarrassment. I would recuse myself. But no, she's still there. No. You know what she did? She fired the
chief.
The chief.
The fire chief. Jackie, because that's the status quo. No, that's what politicians do.
Yeah.
They cover up and they don't address the immediate problem, and they keep it moving. Just ignore it.
As if we're gonna forget. I'm fucking never gonna
here's
forget
the thing.
this shit.
Here's the thing. Unfortunately, as people, we do. And that's why I'm saying, as people, we need to take a deep dive on, why do we vote the way that we vote? Why are we voting the way that we're voting? Like I'm in a serious reckoning
Yes.
with my belief systems and where I stand politically. And I've been there for years.
Yeah.
You know, say what you want to say about the elections of 2016 and the havoc that President Trump brought to our politics.
Yeah.
He really did awaken on whatever side you are on the aisle.
Right.
He awoken something in us that wasn't there. It was always status quo. Okay, there's this guy from Arkansas, there's this guy from Chicago, and you always voted party lines. Well, I'm currently in a reckoning with my own politics.
Right.
Why do I vote the way that I vote? And you know, I've been I was a lifelong Democrat, Jackie. Mm-hmm. Like, because that's what you did. Like, Cesar Chavez, si se puede. My parents are farm workers. Like, no one gave them anything. And so when you had a politics that was saying we can help you, which what the Democratic Party traditionally was, well, that's how we're going to vote. And I've shifted.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say, and a lot of people are saying this, I don't feel like I left the Democratic Party. I feel like the Democratic Party left me.
Yeah, they
like,
did.
I no longer...
They went wild.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? Why are you chasing things that only affects 0.0%, 0.001% of the population?
Yeah. Well, that's where our dollars went. We're the highest taxed, and the money went to... And listen, our city has been beat down, Jackie. COVID beat us up. We were the city that was forced inside longer than most cities, comparatively.
While our governor was
drinking wine, outside, having great dinners. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
We were beat down in COVID. We've been beat down with the homeless issue. It's our city is so dirty. It's embarrassing. It's when we had guests growing up at my mom's house, you best believe we were working, cleaning the house for 8 hours.
Yes.
Like, even if we were going to throw a party, I'm like, Mom, but this is going to be messed up at the end of the day.
No.
No vale.
No.
Hay que limpiar.
Yeah.
Our city is so dirty and embarrassing. Like, when you have out-of-town guests, it's like, I'm not taking you to certain parts of the city because it's terrifying.
It's terrifying, yes.
So we've been beat up with COVID. We got beat up with the homeless issue it's just made our city not look. You can't...
It's like the slums.
It's like the slums.
Yeah.
Like
I'm like,
slums.
am I okay? There are all these third world countries and really in shambles. Never did I think that would be LA, but it is.
No, it is.
It is.
It is, and that's become the norm.
Yeah.
So we're beat up with the homeless issue, which is where all our funding is going, and now the fires, which was a perfect storm. Certainly with the winds were like hurricane level winds.
Yeah.
And the fires, but how come there was no money being allocated to clearing the brush? You know, certainly insurance companies, you know, they're the damn mafia.
Yeah.
And they're going to give as little as they're going to give, and they're going to charge you if they're going to give you anything. But weren't they the canary in the gold mine? The reason why they were leaving the state was because our state leaders were reducing funds.
Yeah.
And they weren't clearing bush. They weren't making sure our reservoirs were fixed so that there was water when there was a fire.
They knew that was happening. Hello?
So
I'm like, it didn't, this is where I get to just, as a lawyer, you have a duty. And when there's a breach, you have to realize if there's a causation to that breach. And the causation here is the lack of funding, the lack of using our taxpayer money that we did make to remove the brush, to make sure that we have adequate fire hydrants, to all the things, right? That's why I say this is gross negligence. And this, I mean, I'm sorry. Or maybe I'm not sorry.
So then talk to me about, we have voted these leaders in every election cycle in California. And if you think about the dynamics of like who the populace is, why, in your opinion, are we voting this way? Like, we voted these people in.
You know why?
Tell me what your opinion is of that.
Well, because we've been really, how do you say this? It takes 20 years to convince a generation. Right?
Okay.
20 years to change the trajectory of something. And so this has been, okay, I'm going to get all conspiracy theorists, but it's been part of the master plan of the brain manipulation.
Okay.
And fortunately, we had this election, and not that I didn't even vote because I was so disgusted with both sides. I'm
sure.
like, you know what? I'm just going to leave it to God's hands.
I mean, we're in a
and let
blue
it be.
state anyways. So
Yeah,
that
because it didn't matter
it didn't
whether I
even
did
matter.
or not, right? I mean, sure, okay, whatever.
Oh, you want to vote for Kanye West?
Yeah. That's you're not going to get him, but
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's just the normal, right?
Yeah.
But we've been brainwashed.
We've
Completely.
been brainwashed.
We've been brainwashed.
You're talking, when you say we, are you saying the Latino people? Or are you talking about people?
People in general. We've been brainwashed because what the lockdown did is had us get stuck inside to watch news and TV, and how much from the moment that the vaccine occurred, every freaking commercial was
Yeah, COVID. Get
COVID.
your COVID shot.
Get your COVID shot.
Okay.
That is master brain manipulation. And then you got to build the reinforcements. Oh, you didn't get it.
Oh, yeah.
And so then you start ostracizing that
Yeah,
individual.
you're canceled.
And you're canceled.
You can't come here.
Yeah. So this is just part of the big master plan.
Yeah.
And I think that we're finally waking up, I feel. I hope. I think with this election, it really, people are listening more to not
Traditional
media. Now they're listening to these podcasts like mine.
Hey.
Gotta plug this shit in because we are handling our shit.
We are here and we are talking.
But, like podcasts like Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been saying from the beginning and bringing really those guests that their speech was chill, like Dr. Marcona, like Marcona, I'm sorry if I'm butchering his last name, but anyhow, he actually had been revered for years. And then because he objected to the main narrative, he gets canceled.
Yeah. Yeah.
So don't get it twisted, people.
Yeah.
This shit is real.
Yeah.
You just are finally waking up to it.
Yeah. When you think about, so I definitely agree. I don't listen to mainstream media anymore, period.
Yeah, I haven't done it
so
in years.
I started that process really from a personal experience. I used to be always plugged into the news. It was the way I woke up. It was the way I went to sleep. Like, it's how I started my day. It's how I ended my day. In the morning, I'd turn on KTLA. I'd turn on CBS. And I'd listen to the morning news to prepare myself. What's in the news? What's going on? I also love, I have a fixation for politics. I like hearing what's happening in the culture and the way things are shifting. So I used to always, that's how I started my day. And then at the end of the day, I would turn on the 6:30 NBC nightly news and I would listen.
Yeah.
And I have 3 sons. About 2017, 2018, with the whole Harvey Weinstein, when all of that was going down, the news were just really talking about it in a way that I could not keep the news on.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want my sons at 5 years old exposed to, the verbiage that they were using.
Yeah.
It was real talk, but I didn't want to expose it. So I stopped listening to the news so much. And then things really started to turn in 21 and 22 where I was just like, I don't feel connected to what you're saying. And I feel like this is more of a commercial than it is news.
Right.
You're saying the same thing over and over again in a different way. And it didn't matter if I was watching CBS, NBC, ABC. They were all reporting on the same thing in the same way, no difference of opinion. And then I started seeing how if you had a different opinion, you're not invited. Let's talk about it. You're canceled.
You're canceled.
And I just,
and we're American.
We're American. And so I never subscribed to that.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be canceled. I don't want you to I don't want anyone to judge me on my worst day.
Yeah.
Off of my worst offense.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm asking to be redeemed.
Yes.
Especially if I'm confessing that. Woo. And I'm not going to do that to somebody else. So this whole cancel culture wokeness thing, it was the way that people communicated. It was the main
Yeah.
Right. It was the party. It was the party.
And I feel like while that was the main narrative, I think inside, I don't think people really believed it, but they were too scared to speak up.
I think there are some people that absolutely subscribe to it. I think there is a very small percentage, but their voices were so loud, so glaring, so overwhelming that it drowned out the rest of our voices.
Yeah.
And I think what we're experiencing now is that those individuals, the Rogans of the world, the PBDs of the world, that are bold enough to come out and be like, I don't care if you cancel me. I'm going to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you my truth the way that you're standing on top of a mountaintop screaming.
Yeah.
This is my truth. And I think that that's like bringing it back around. That's the power that this podcast has.
Yeah.
This Amiga Handle Your Shit. I'm going to tell you the truth, whether you like it or you don't.
Yeah.
It's still my truth. You can't take away my testimony. My testimony is mine.
Yes.
And I think that's what's really special about this. You know, I said earlier, we've been a one-party system for way too long. Way too long. I do not grow where there is not friction.
Yeah. Yeah.
I grow in the valleys, not just on the mountaintops.
Yeah.
On the mountaintops, you know,
Everything.
I'm going to the Gucci store.
Yeah.
But I grow where there is friction.
Yeah.
And when there is no political friction in our city and in our state, we stay the norm.
Yes.
And we are behind now.
Yes.
We're behind, all the way behind. We are a joke. When strategists are looking at your business model and saying, leave the state.
Yeah.
If you want to be successful.
Yeah.
I don't understand about.
I mean, I've even considered going to Texas.
Texas!
Girl.
Texas!
Girl, of all places.
Listen to me.
Of
I
all
have a
places.
tejana and everything, but I have family in Texas.
But I'm like, I need to give it.
Yeah. This is where we are.
Yeah.
As a people, as a Californian, as an Angelino, that we've seen so many of our loved ones move away. My husband, his entire family, his brothers, his sisters, todos. And they're immigrant. Like his parents are immigrants, but we're going to Texas.
Yeah.
They went to Texas, not even English as their first language, but that's what they're faced.
Yeah.
If they want affordable housing, I got to go to Texas so I can finally own the dream, a piece of the dream.
Yeah.
And it's devastating because our city is so fundamentally beautiful.
And I'm not going to get taxed up the wazoo. Where's the incentive? Yeah. I'm not incentivized by this government here in the state of California to have a business.
No.
At all.
No.
As you know.
No.
You get reamed with taxes here and there. Oh, tax to not only with your property, but okay, you have your sales tax.
Your payroll tax.
The payroll tax. Insurance tax.
Your federal tax.
And workers' comp.
Your city tax.
Yeah.
And your workers' comp. And your general liability. Mm-hmm. And don't let, when you start to have employees and girl, that's a whole other level. It is not business friendly. You're right. To your point, there is very little incentive to. Are we packing our bags and leaving after this, or is that what we're talking ourselves into?
I know it's kind of fucked up, but oh well. I don't know. But this is Amiga Handle Your Shit, so we're just kind of handling our shit right now.
Yeah, we're just getting it out.
Yeah, because we've been like pent up with all this.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's very hard to reconcile.
Yeah,
and I am I'm a transplant, even though I wasn't born and raised here. I love this city. I love what it has to offer. I love its resources. I love the people that I get to meet. Mm-hmm. It is a world-class city that our leaders have really
done us wrong.
They've really taken the city. The very backbone of this city for decades was Hollywood, the glitz and the glamour. And now Hollywood doesn't even record here. They're in Georgia. They're in Canada. They record anywhere else. Can we get production anywhere else?
Yeah.
But Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I for a number of years I was positioning for a TV show, my own pilot show with HGTV. I'm a general contractor.
That's
so
right.
We had this experience where we signed on with a production company. We filmed a pilot. We did this whole thing, Jackie, and we were on the cusp. And I was really excited about it because HGTV,
Yeah, that
there's
is like the
no
biggest.
there's no Latino representation.
Yes.
Tell me why there's no Latino representation on a major network
Construction.
about construction.
About construction.
It didn't make sense to me. So I just wanted to I wanted to be in that space, right? We're not just workers, we're entrepreneurs, we're leaders, and we do an excellent job.
Right.
So I was really excited about it. But the thing that kept coming back, and we got all the way to the top of like the decision makers at the network, and the thing that came back is, but it's in LA. But it's in LA.
Yeah.
And that worked as a deficit.
Oh my God.
That worked as a deficit for us.
That's kind of fucked up.
It's horrific.
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
horrifying.
Yeah, because it's not business friendly.
It's not business friendly, and the cost of living is too expensive. So cost of construction is too expensive.
Yeah.
It's just the numbers. The show had to be even that much more exceptional. I mean, I thought we were exceptional,
Yeah,
but
you
whatever. That the show just had to have that much more of a potential ROI.
Yeah.
But it's in Los Angeles.
Right.
Yes, Mario, Marisela. Yes, but it's in Los Angeles, and that our city is there. I want to bring it back to, as individuals and as a people, as a community, we have to do a self-evaluation of why are you voting the way that you're voting, and what are those values? Are
Right.
the people that you're penciling in to make your decisions for you, to represent you, do they reflect
Your
those values?
Yes. I mean, come on. Like, just with this whole, like, the COVID, going back to the COVID thing, being shut down. You couldn't even go to your church.
No.
What the fuck?
No. But the strip joints were open.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But the strip joints were open because those were essential.
Oh, yeah.
But your churches weren't.
Yeah.
You know, my pastor, I attend Shepherd Church in the San Fernando Valley, and my pastor shared a story of, in COVID, after a certain point, they tried to reopen services.
Yeah.
And every week for a number of weeks, they were having conversations with the state leaders about, well, can we have it outside? How many can we have it outside? What's the separation, to get these terms? And they were negotiating how to be able to open up services again. And he shared a story that just blew my mind, where Newsom's office came back and said, okay, you can open up service. It can be outside. There has to be this much separation, but you can't worship out loud. You can't have praise and worship.
Wait. Whoa. Come again?
Yeah. You can't have praise and worship. And so my pastor talks about,
I'm getting the tingles.
yeah. Can you imagine? You can't have praise and worship. You can't praise God
outside.
Because
Why? Because it is offensive.
it's offensive. But the strip club down the street was totally open.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
So
that's fine
he
to
said,
show your titties outside, but not praise the Lord.
not praise the Lord. So he said that with that, he made the decision, we're just going to open up. We're going to open inside, and we're going to open up that side. And that's leadership. And he said that I think it was for 2 years, he was fined at every service. He was given a fine,
Yeah.
because he conducted services outside and inside. But that's leadership.
Yeah.
Because that's what the people needed.
Yeah.
If you don't do leadership, isn't leaving your house when there is imminent danger.
Yeah.
It is standing in the space of that
You're
fear.
going to get shit done.
Yeah.
You are going to protect your house.
You're going to protect your house.
I'm going to protect my house, my kid, my husband. I'm going to do whatever it takes
Yeah.
to protect those that I love.
Yeah. And you're going to make a hard decision, even though it's terrifying.
Yes.
Even though you risk losing your house, your
Whatever it
life,
is.
your money, your resources, that is what a leader does.
Yeah.
And in the fires and how this all went down, I didn't see the decisions leading up to that.
Right.
Because this isn't just a one-day event.
Right.
This is like months and years of terrible decision making.
Whew.
Why are we voting
The same.
the way that we're voting?
Yeah. Yep.
But here's what I'll say. I think having a conversation like this, Jackie, you're such a respectable woman.
Oh,
You're
sweet.
very thoughtful, you're wise, you're educated, you're successful. That you can say these things out loud is going to help someone else who's also been churning, who's
Yeah.
also been sitting like, these things don't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't.
It doesn't.
Because it doesn't.
Yeah.
Listen to your gut. It's the spirit is just telling you something. Mm-hmm. And the problem is that people walk away from that because they can't lean into it mm-hmm. and decipher.
Or they're afraid of rejection.
Yeah, exactly. They are. Yeah. I've always been one of those outliers. Mm. I've never walked the straight path. Mm-hmm. It's always been, I've always questioned everything since I was a little girl.
Where's that come from?
Oh, I don't know. I just feel like never understood why people, collectively, they all agree to one thing when you know innately that doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound correct. And for me, ever since I was a little girl, like I never understood why just because you have 10 people that say yes to this doesn't make it right. Mm-hmm. So I've always had this call me crazy. I see dead people. Literally, but I do in my dreams. They come to me. Mm-hmm. And I feel like those are like my ancestors just sending me messages. Mm. I also feel like the Holy Spirit is always like, wait, or go, or sending me the tingles when, I feel like the chills because that's the Holy Spirit talking to me. Like, this is truth. This is truth. So people are ignoring their truth, knowing that. For instance, is this really to be concerned about, this whole COVID thing? Was it really? Mm-hmm. People weren't doing the research. All they were doing, they were trapped inside watching the news, telling you what to do. Yeah. Instead of using logic, like, how about if I wait it out? Yeah. Do my own research. Yeah.
Be okay not being like everyone else.
Yeah, be okay not being like everybody else. Okay. But here, I'm grateful for this because as a lawyer, I've learned that the government is not here for you. I've learned in case by case and case where actually the government is out to get you kind of thing. And like, for instance, like the Korematsu
you have
case.
a very specific and different purview to this because you practice law.
Exactly.
You know exactly the way the systems are set up.
They're all set up. They're not there to, I'm sorry, but they're not there to make you a hero. They're
what
not.
are they there for, in your opinion?
No, they're there to hold you down. Woo. Yeah, no. I mean, I don't blame the anarchists. I don't. No. Because they're not there to help you. And remember this, kind of like Social Security. It's going to run out by the time we're, senior citizens and stuff like that.
Well,
although I'm all there.
Close,
I'm almost
girl.
there.
Listen to me.
But here's the thing. It's like we have to use our executive mindset, our question everything. Because I'm telling you, as a lawyer, I'm reading these cases where the government comes and says like, oh, security, oh, for the safety. Really? And then you come to find out there is nothing to be afraid of. Yeah. Kind of like what happened this time. Yeah. So I want to kind of close this out, our little discussion here on fires, but then to COVID
leadership.
And then to leadership.
I think over encompassing, we're talking about leadership, what that looks like. Poor leadership. We've seen it. We've experienced. We agree that the leadership that we've seen in Los Angeles and California has been a failure. It's been a failure over these last 10 years. And I'm challenging myself to continue to explore. And everyone listening, why do you vote the way that you vote?
Yes.
Because they shouldn't be, pinning us to one party.
Yes.
Just because you're a Latina or a Latino doesn't mean you need to be a Democrat. Doesn't mean you need to be a Republican. It means you need to think.
You need to think
about who you're voting for. Not even who you're voting for. I'm going to start with, what are your values?
Yeah.
What's important? And this Democrat and this Republican, they're imperfect. Mm-hmm. They're not going to give you everything.
Right.
But who aligns more with your values?
And remember that the government's not going to save you. Ooh, no one is coming here to save you. Nobody.
No.
So make logical decisions
Yeah.
based on spirit, obviously.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
self-awareness.
Self-awareness is key.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a mom, fuck yeah. Be the mom.
Yeah.
Like, hell no. You're not going to force me to do what you think is right. I'm going to know what is right for my kids.
Because you
and
know
nobody
yourself,
else.
you know your intuition,
Yes.
you know how to listen to that
Yes.
intuition, that gut instinct.
That gut. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, amigas, handling your shit is about the execution of your leadership and having thought, have listening to that gut. Maybe, and if your gut is the Holy Spirit, God, whoever that is for you, but really knowing that the government is not here to save you.
Yeah.
So you get to make your own decision.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, ask a trusted advisor.
Aquí, yo, I know one. I know one, you guys. I'm pointing right at her.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna, if I could add to that, Jackie, get in community. And if you don't have a community, if you don't have people around you that expand you, that push you, that pull you, start here.
Yeah.
Start with a podcast. Start with thought leadership. Have a diverse group of ideas, and they will force you to grow because they're giving you different ideas. Their community is so very powerful. I'm so grateful. Again, where I started is that you're a giver, and you have this innate. It's so easy for you to connect people the way you've connected this Mariposa Chola group that we're a part of now. But there's so much power in community and connecting with not like-minded people and like-minded people. There is growth in friction.
Yes.
So when you're around people that think like you and that don't think like you, either way you're going to grow.
Yeah.
But staying alone and being by yourself, man, the devil's got you.
Yeah.
Devil's got you when you're alone.
Yeah.
So be in that community and challenge your ideas, challenge your thought process.
We have to stretch.
Because if we're status quo, if we're in the norm, we get status
change.
quo leaders.
And we can't complain. Fuck that. You don't have the right to complain.
No, I like to complain though.
No, but if you want to stay in the status quo, you have no right to complain.
Yeah. Amen, girl.
Because that's the shit that happens.
Yeah.
The fires. The lack of leadership in the city of LA.
The deterioration of Los Angeles, the city of stars.
And now it's, instead of stars, it's slums.
No.
I'm just going to be truth here.
No. There is power in community. There is power in word. There is power in sharing. And I'm so grateful that you've created this space for all of that to happen. You check all the boxes, my girl.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Well, this is about Amiga Handle Your Shit, right?
Yes, we are handling.
We're handling our shit.
Yeah.